Welcome to an episode of Community Off the Cuff. I'm Nick Rankin. Today we're sitting down with Heather Renae Paul and Jim Konrad, and we're all from Tommy Toy Fund. Stick around.
This podcast is brought to you by Connecticut RE/MAX Home Team. If you're considering selling your home, RE/MAX Home Team can help. With over 58 licensed agents and covering all of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, RE/MAX Home Team's strategic market presence attracts thousands of home buyers. Plus, their home selling techniques gets your home sold fast. Remember, real estate is the key to building long-term wealth. So call RE/MAX Home Team at 860-444-7362. That's 860-444-7362. Or visit them online at www.nxtlevelgrp.com. Remember, selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. That's RE/MAX Home Team for all your real estate needs.
Thank you guys for coming in. So Jim Konrad with a K. If there's a tag, we're going to put a K.
Okay.
And Heather Renae Paul, who I only learned today, I don't have to call Heather Renae all the time. I can say Heather and it's not insulting.
That's right.
Typing your name into a text, into an email, into anything is a hassle.
And there's an accent as well, an E, over the E. So
right.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I do feel better about that. So Jim, you're from Norwich Bulletin originally. That's how people are going to know you, remember you. And you run the charity? Are you the president?
I'm the president of the charity. I was at the Bulletin for about 30 years in two different stints, and didn't have much to do with Tommy Toy Fund until maybe about 10 years ago. And then I got involved, became president for a while, stepped back. Then I've been president again for the last 3 years, even though I haven't been at the Bulletin for about a year and a half. The fact that I'm not working in Norwich anymore doesn't matter, because the charity is really close to my heart, and you see, just a community rallying together. And although I go to work in the other direction now, heading towards Hartford, it's nice to still have the contact with the community that I grew up in and have been a part of for a long time.
Sure, yeah, I know. That was always our charity of choice when growing up. Like, that charity was handed to me as like, hey, this is the thing we kind of donate to around Christmas time. So it's I don't know, it's been around our family for a long time, and obviously around Norwich for a long time.
Probably before you were born. 1974 we started.
Oh wow.
And if people don't know the story, there was a letter to the newsroom saying that a family was struggling, and one of the children probably wouldn't be having any Christmas toys. The family had enough money to get by, but not have a nice Christmas. And so the Bulletin ran the letter, and that day, just flood of toys were donated. And so the little boy's name was Tommy. And so there was enough toys to donate to other families. And then the next year, readers started to call, when can I donate toys? And I go, maybe we have something here.
Right.
And so it became the Bulletin's official charity, and since then it's become its own 501c3, so it's independent, although we still have a good affiliation with the Bulletin, but it stands on its own. And as fewer people from the Bulletin were volunteering their time or being part of their workday, more people from the community got involved. So it's not a single entity charity anymore. It's really the community's charity, and there's groups in the London Way, Norwich Way, and up towards Killingly, Plainfield, Putnam, who really think of it as their charity, and they volunteer and donate every year.
That's interesting, because I wondered when I joined the board a couple years back, I never knew it was extended beyond Norwich. I always thought it was just a Norwich charity. I know, like, even if we did actual toys when we were younger, we'd bring them to the Bulletin on Franklin Street, and they'd take toys right there, or checks, whatever was going on. But I didn't realize that it started that way. So.
Yeah, it did. And again, it's it's the definition of a grassroots campaign, right? And everything that gets donated, every toy, we try to keep it in that area. So if you're donating at the Norwich Walmart, it'll go to Norwich. If you're donating at the Putnam or Brooklyn Walmart, it's going to go to the Dayville site. The same with the cash, all stays local. That's very important because it allows us to buy toys in bulk. Yep. To supplement the toys that are donated, and anything that's given this year, it's in our account, so we can purchase toys next year for next year's campaign. So there's no salaries. We keep expenses to a minimum.
Yep.
We get a lot of donations. So it's honestly, I'm guessing about 98% of everything that's donated goes right to kids.
That's awesome. It's nice to see true to form charities that aren't, nothing wrong with a charity that does good things but also employs people, but it's nice to see that it's just going where what you're donating to.
Yeah, true volunteers. And again, the communities have been great. There have been business owners who have donated their properties for distribution. There have been businesses that have set up toy drives, police departments, again, from Putnam, down to Norwich, and this year as far out as Wyndham have donated their time. And we have a new
partner.
Partner this year with Reliance Health donating their space. With a beautiful space. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, we're super excited. So it used to be Sears a long time ago in Norwich. And so now, thanks to the Lord Foundation, we were able to redo the basement and make it into what we're going to be calling the wellness center of our lower level. So there'll be groups down there. It'll be a drop-in area. We'll have tons of like different therapeutic interventions, yoga, and then also like meeting space, and then also for community partnership, which is very exciting.
It was a real relief to find a space because we've done it out of the Mercantile Exchange building for the last several years, and you guys stepped up big because I was starting to sweat. Like I'm on the Norwich space, right? It's like, hey, have you found anything? Have you looked at anything?
Right.
It's like I reached out to a couple people, and you guys answered the call.
And we like literally just finished this like in the summer, so to be able to showcase this now is like the absolute best timing. So
Right.
we're super stoked for it.
Yeah, we're stoked to have it, and it's cool too down there. You know, it's massive, but also you got the cool freight elevator that goes up like a couple floors and all of that.
Very old.
I have to ask you, like, you appeared out of nowhere in Norwich, or at least to my
Yes.
recollection,
Yes.
over the past several months, and now I see you everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what is that?
Okay, so from Niantic, but worked in Norwich right out of college.
Okay.
So worked in case management. I've been working at Reliance Health for 11 years. And it was like boots on the ground, had a caseload, then got promoted into program coordinator and then into director position. And most recently, why you're seeing me a lot more is I got one of my dream jobs at the agency, total shift gears, but always has been another passion of mine was working with people, but as the development director. So now I'm able to take this like lens and all this experience from the past 10 years and really blend it into what I'm doing now, which is I'm out there just putting our name on the map a little bit more and collaborating a lot with the community.
So is development director, is that what that is? Is it like PR, or is it PR marketing type
I'm
setup?
learning as I go. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's always been like, since I took like, those tests when you were younger, like what's the best fit for you for your job? It was literally like working with people, being creative, and like PR and marketing.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, all right, check that box. And now I'm here. And so yeah, it's a lot. It'll be like grant writing and marketing and PR and getting out and just making relationships. And then also, the donations that come in and stuff like that.
That's cool.
But really it's about partnership and working together. So
yeah, no,
it's cool
and
stuff.
it's nice to see that existing in another agency. I've never seen that out of that agency before, in particular. Like, not that they weren't well marketed or it didn't have a good name, but it was like, they just weren't out there that way. And I feel like it's kind of similar to where we were at with policing. Like, I shouldn't be marketing and doing whatever this is. And I certainly didn't think that's what I was signing up for. Right? I thought I was signing up for police work, and here I am X number of years later, and it's like, I do this now, at least part of the time. So,
which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's cool to have a shift in what you're doing.
And be able
right?
to do, like, if you have a passion for it, and you can do that, then, like, why not?
Why do you like it?
I love working with people in any way. And I also love, like this is even so creative, right? And just being able to be a part of other people's passions are so, like, makes me feel fulfilled.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it does.
That's why. And I get to do my own creativity. It's just like I always have these ideas, and now I'm like, okay, I can actually like put this to fruition.
How would you feel about being on a Tommy Toy Fund board and coming up with some creative marketing?
I would like to be on a board. Yeah.
Great idea.
I would like to be on a board, so I'll think about that. I'll put a pin in it.
So it seems to me we would be happy to have you.
Oh, thanks.
And our next meeting, we'll probably have a secret vote, and we'll let you know how it turns out.
Yeah.
So I've worked in this area for a long time. and I've seen Reliance House evolve into Reliance Health.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure all of the things that you do now. Can you kind of share
Yeah,
for us?
absolutely.
The things that
So this
do?
year marks our 45th year of working in Norwich. But we were house. So everyone thought we were Reliance House, this one building people would call, and they thought it was either a residential home or something like that, which we do have. We have over 18 residential homes across Eastern Connecticut and Windham County. But we started 45 years ago as a leisure center. When Norwich State Hospital closed, people would come as a place for them to drop in and just receive supports, anything that they needed in regards to mental health, substance use. And then it just evolved. And so we have over 30 programs, and it's really unique because if you're just driving around Norwich, you might not know that they exist unless you're talking to someone who's like, oh, well, that's actually up on Laurel, here, this is where we have a space, and this is where we have, downtown and other different locations. So we do everything from harm reduction. We have a clubhouse that is like a drop-in center for people, a day program. We do case management. We have now therapy or one-on-one talk therapy, medication management, group therapy, career services where people can work on getting a job. We have a career closet that's now in our basement, which I'll have to show you guys when you're down there, which is really cool. So it actually looks like a store, which is really, really cool. And you can go if someone's going for an interview or if people just need like a winter coat or a hat or new sneakers. We take donations. And so,
nice.
But it's literally like with mannequins, and there's like, the circular, you walk around and you pick your clothes by the size. And we switch out for seasons. So that's something we're really
cool.
proud of, which is neat. And then there's a ton of other different like residential programs that are based either on age or different demographics. So that's like the short of it. Sometimes when people ask, they'll always mental health, right? Period. Simple. Nonprofit mental health. But when you start diving into it, we do a significant amount of work, serving over 1,000 plus people at any given time in the year. So
That's excellent.
yeah,
That's excellent.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I've never heard of a career closet.
Yeah.
And that's a good idea. I had someone asking me the other day, because we do the oral boards and stuff, and we score interviews. And one of the things is, hey, did you show up in appropriate attire
Right.
and dress for the occasion, whatever it is. And someone was like, well, what if this person that's applying can't really afford like a nice suit? It's like, well, no, we don't need you to be in a nice suit. We just need to, whatever. But it's good to know that there is a place. And can anyone access that needs it?
You have to be a member of Reliance Health. So to be a member, you come in experiencing, you could be for the first time, and you can be screened by one of our clinicians through an intake, or you can have a mental health diagnosis that you've had and you just want supports. And then what we do is we kind of triage at intake to say, why are you coming here? What supports do you need? And then we kind of refer out, and it might be refer to one program in our agency, or it might be, we really think these 5 would be good for you because you've listed these 5 goals, things you want to work on. So
sure. Is that typically come through some other channel that, hey, somebody was speaking to their therapist or speaking to their social worker and they say, hey, we're going to refer you to Reliance Health, or do people manage to find you?
It can. So we have some people that just come right off the street. Some people that have a friend that say, hey, Heather Renae works there. Why don't you call her, because it sounds like you could benefit, or just word of mouth, or other members that are in the community. But also, we do have like therapists that refer, a lot of times from D1 or from Bacchus Hospital. It really just depends. They're all over the grid.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. It's kind of eye-opening, because when I started, we'd deal with Reliance House, or we'd have, cross clientele really. Yeah. And I always assumed it was a program.
Yeah.
Like I thought Reliance House was a program.
Absolutely.
And I didn't realize what it was until I met Deanna, actually. And we started working on the recovery coach stuff.
She's super unique too.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of good people over at that organization.
That's one thing too, that we, like, our culture is just about, it's really like family and just like love. Like literally, this is our shirt that is like, love is a medical necessity, it says on the back, and it really is like about that. And just, I might say it's hi, and I always joke about this, like to the same person 20 times walking to the printer every day, and it doesn't get old. And that's just like it's I don't know what it is about the culture that's really special. So and spreading it to you.
It is. People act like that's not around Norwich, and it clearly is. I mean, what you're describing, and then what Jim was talking about with, hey, Norwich just showed up and said, we heard about this kid, and now, why can't we just do this every year? Started by the community.
Why not?
Like, it is out there.
We did, yeah. And it's
so
nice.
special.
And it's nice that this gives you more access to maybe people who don't know about you, because thousands of people will be coming through your doors this time next week.
And the coolest too is like just starting this new position, and this is the biggest event I'll be doing since I started in September. Yeah, ish. So
you
that's
only
really
started that in September? You
This new
have been
position.
busy.
This new position, yeah.
What are you gonna do next year? This is a big.
Oh gosh, I got many ideas. I have a whole think tank board.
This is like the thing where you don't get too good of an anniversary gift for your wife because you're going to have to top it
Next
the next
Yeah,
year, and like you're going to
Maybe
be
we'll do this next year.
yeah. Well, at the rate you're going to have to start your own and be out there 24/7.
Oh geez, yeah.
So you're going to say that the McKinley Ave Health Fair was not the biggest thing that you've attended this year.
No,
I actually really did enjoy myself.
I did
with
enjoy
that. That was a really
that was
nice
a good day. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
funny.
small though.
It was.
A lot of people didn't drop by, which was too bad.
That's part of it, right? That's what I'm learning. It's word of mouth and just not even, but just having conversations and talking, right? I mean, we might not have. I would have never known the origin of Tommy Toy Fund if we didn't talk about it. So
Yeah.
that's the importance.
And I've found with Norwich, they almost want consistency to show up. Like, hey, you have to have been doing this for a little bit. Otherwise,
Right.
like people walk on by. But once they recognize that, oh, no, we're serious. We're out here full time. They open up a little bit more. It's like, abandonment issues or something.
Yeah.
I always say like,
Something new.
Hartford's abandoned us over here in the southeast corner, and we all suffer that.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So speaking of, the generosity of Norwich and giving, Kazantis, I think I might have told you some of this, Jim. Originally, they said, oh, we're going to send you a U-Haul truck full of toys to Tommy Toy Fund. So it was like, oh, well, this is going to be a logistical nightmare, but thank you. And it turns out what they did was they actually donated the use of their box truck to us, which on our end for the Stuff a Cruiser stuff means, hey, we do 3 Stuff a Cruisers, right? The last one's going to be coming up Sunday the 12th. Is Sunday the 12th?
Yep.
Yeah, last one's going to be then, which means
Saturday.
No, we're there Sunday though.
Oh, okay. I think it's
So
13th.
maybe it's the 13th. Yeah, it must be the 13th. We'll be at Walmart again, 10 a.m. on. And logistically, it's a nightmare typically. We have all these loose toys. We pile them into a truck or several truck trips. And when we get back, we have to go through 3 locked key card doors to where we store them one thing at a time. So we thought, oh, we'll get smart. We brought contractor bags, right? Still, that's a lot of trips, and these guys decided to loan us their box truck. So I wanted to mention them publicly for doing that.
So
Nice.
the truck is literally locked and loaded with toys, ready
Locked
to
and loaded.
bring over to
Yeah.
to Reliance on Monday when you're done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Monday for setup.
that's awesome.
We'll be there ready to rip, and
Gotta take some photos.
we will.
Yeah, for
Get
sure.
the PR
Are you
going.
sure the truck is big enough? I know in past years when Norwich Police have dropped it off at the Bulletin or over at the previous distribution site, the bags just kept coming and coming and coming. I mean, these contractor bags are enormous, and there was 20 or 25 plus.
We've got more than
loose stuffed
25 this
toys
year for
already.
sure. Yep, and we still got another day to go. We haven't seen a lot of bikes this year, which I thought was odd. But they didn't sell them pre-assembled, I guess, at Walmart anymore.
Okay.
So I think that's maybe part of why, because usually it's like every once in a while somebody will roll up a bike and everyone cheers and that sort of thing. Not as much this year, but yeah, and it's a full-size moving truck.
Yeah.
It's it's not like that rack
boy.
body that we
Oh,
drove.
boy.
Yeah, it's a moving truck.
Well, if people see this before they come on Sunday, we distribute toys from birth, basically, and the official is to age 12, and that's what we buy for. But if there's somebody a little bit older, we're not going to turn them
Right.
away. So if anybody's out shopping, the easiest kids to shop for, like maybe 3 to 7 or 8, aren't they cute? Aren't they inquisitive? But older kids need things too. So if you're, and it's not just they don't all play sports, or they're not all artistic or anything, or but,
Right.
but if somebody gets creative and sees some toys for some older kids, that'd be awesome to have.
Yeah, we try to tell people and people have learned in town at this point. People show up specifically for Stuff a Cruiser at this point, and they'll say like, "Hey, who are we looking for this year? Like, who am I shopping for this year?"
great.
And so they ask, "Hey, what are you short on? What do you need more of?" And this year we told them, "Hey, newborns, like infants and adolescents, like which is almost always the answer, right? That's the typical
Right.
answer
Again,
that we give.
that's where it's hardest to buy for. Is sometimes it's easier to buy for the, like I said, the
Right.
Right.
the middle group.
And as long as we've got like a public forum here, I think it'd be cool to talk a little bit nuts and bolts of how that operates. Like in terms of Mike Matera coming across all this stuff through Surplus Unlimited, and I'm still new to it. I mean, I'm only a couple years in. I was wondering if you give insight into that.
Sure. Well, there are a lot of elves around Eastern Connecticut, and you're one of them, right? And but Mike is basically Santa Claus. So through Surplus Unlimited, he has the opportunity to buy pretty much anything if you've been in a store in bulk. And so what he ends up doing is going to either Chicago or Las Vegas in most years. You know, COVID kind of curtailed that a little bit. And he just talks to vendors who have age-appropriate toys, what we're in books, what we're looking for, and he's able to get us a great deal. I mean, if it weren't for Mike, I don't think we could service as many kids as we do, just because things would be much more expensive. I mean, imagine, you know, a toy at retail at, say, whatever, it's $15, but Mike can get them at wholesale for $5 and get 1,000 of them because he's buying in bulk. So he's really, really does a great job with that. Not only going out there, you know, and buying the toys, but he's storing them in his warehouse. He's delivering them to, you know, to the 3 sites. I mean, it takes a lot of time, and he really does a good job. So I don't recall him having too much gray hair or much of a belly, but he's, you know, but he is Santa to us.
He looked good today.
He seems legitimately happy to go out and do it too.
Oh, sure.
I've never seen him feel like it's an imposition. I know for a while it's like, hey, we're taking up your entire warehouse for several months, and you know he's all about it, which is kind of nice to see.
But to go on, we talk about we talk about the elves. I mean, obviously 3 days. That's a lot of work for you know the Norwich police officers. I know that some of the resident state troopers up in Lisbon were you know doing it for a couple of weekends. If I can make a plug also, Plainfield and Killingly police are doing it for a couple weekends. State troopers out of Troop D. Again, last weekend and this weekend at Walmarts and Job Lots and Dollar Generals. Just dozens and dozens of businesses are doing it. And the other night, I went to one of my favorite events, which was the Santa Run. I didn't see you at the Santa Run. You didn't want to run around in the cold.
I might have been doing something else
on a Friday night. It's a lot.
I did. I did it a few years ago, and I loved it. It was real fun.
It's a lot of fun. For those who don't know, you show up at Billy Wilson's on Main Street with a toy, and you run with Santa, and come back and kind of celebrate and have a good time. And Todd Fisher runs that with Mohegan Striders, and again, tons of toys, lots of cash donations, lots of people there, and it's a really good time. And they do it on the first Friday as part of the first Friday events on the first Friday of December. So.
Yeah, and they run a really nice event over there too when they do it. I mean, I know those Santas get to having a little much eggnog some of the time, but they keep
dresses
it.
Up.
Oh yeah,
and they dress the little kids up as reindeer, and they leave it, and it's only a mile, so it's not like it's you need to be in shape or training for the event. So, but it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know United Way is heavily involved in it as always. How does that work? Norwich starts this crazy charity, and the Bulletin kind of runs it, and then it seems to grow and gather these partnerships, and then you've got their own 501, and now United Way is there too. Like
Sure. United Way is seeing that a lot of their folks who have needs are the people who come to Tommy Toy every year, and it's more than 10 years. When we were looking to add a site in New London, they volunteered their food center, Jim and Moran Food Center, just off the Four Corners there where the car dealerships are. Yep. And so they ran that site, and then they took over the Norwich site as well, just the distribution, and so they have really stepped up their partnership with us. And now they're taking it a step further this year that we entered an agreement that they're going to be doing a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion, a lot of the administrative work as part of their roles at United Way. Again, everything is is donated, and they're donating that, and it's been wonderful. Social media, they've been donating.
Yep.
It's just fantastic, and it's,
was that an intern that they had around doing social media stuff for Tommy Toy Fun? Was that this year or was that last year?
a couple of years ago we've had interns from Eastern.
Okay.
And we had one from Three Rivers, and they did a wonderful job, but they kind of come and go. And I think
Sure.
with this, the consistency of having United Way be a part of this and be a part of the board and know everything that we're doing, and frankly, they're professionals at it. They know how
really
to run,
are.
They know how to run events, and I told Scott Umbell, who's running the Norwich site, I said, "You just tell me when I'm getting in your way, because
He's impressive.
He is
Yes,
very impressive.
I'm finding that working with more and more nonprofits and charities that some of the most skilled workers and logistics type people are in that field.
Efficiency.
Sure.
I don't know how many people I've met. I'm like, man, I'd like to steal this person and drag them over to where we're working. Like, it'd be nice to. They're very qualified people and just lovely to deal with. But he's impressive. I watched him march through that site in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He had the breakdown of this is going to go here, that's going to
Yeah.
go there. This is the trouble we're going to run into. This is the weight limit on that. It was like,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
that's like with Jen and Carly too, like the three of them. I mean, today when we started setting up for Tommy Toy Fun, it was the circus is coming to town. I mean, it was just
Right.
a tight ship running, this is where this size of this for these boxes are going for these toys. I mean, everything was extremely organized and very efficient. So
Well, when you think that,
Yeah.
honestly, they're giving out tons of food.
Oh, yeah.
Every year or every
Yes.
month, probably tons
Every
of food.
week,
and so
every day.
they've got to plan that. They've got to plan resources and logistics and trucking and everything else. And
Right.
And this is kind of right up their alley, and it's impressive to see them do it.
I want to find some people like that. I don't know what makes people like that tick. I'd never be able to do it. There's no way. I would get so frustrated and bored so quickly trying to do that. But then when you watch someone that's good at it, you're like, oh my God.
Well, you'll find with people, a lot of people who work in nonprofit, they're doing it because it's a passion.
Sure.
It's not for the paycheck or anything. They're doing it because they're trying to help the community. And,
Yeah.
and so when you love doing something, you're going to do a good job at it.
Yeah, it's absolutely impressive. I mean, I'd
Is
love
that
to.
true?
yeah,
That is
yeah,
true.
no, keep them in your corner. You find them and you
Right.
just keep them in your corner. I think.
Oh,
too,
I
we're-
intend to.
Yeah. We're excited too because with the United Way, we used to have a food bank, and so we partnered in that way. So now to be able to also do it in this capacity is very exciting. So yeah.
Where are you now that you're not editing? You were head editor, right, for the Bulletin?
Yeah, I was the executive editor.
You're
which
like the
which
guy.
Is a fancy word for.
Yeah.
I always tell people it's my fault, right? If anything happens, it's my fault. That's
Sure.
what I- So I was laid off about a year and a half ago, and I was out of work for about 10 weeks.
Oh my
which
God, I didn't know that.
think was, I don't know, strangely beneficial. I
Right.
could clear my head and think of what I wanted to do, and then an opportunity at the Journal Inquirer, the newspaper in Manchester, came up, and I hopped right back in. So I've been there for about a year and a half. It's a wonderful staff. It's a great paper. The community is different a little bit, and I'm still learning every day, the community. But it's a lot of fun working there. And the only downfall, again, that I'm heading from my hometown in Colchester, going the other way, than heading to Norwich. So
Right.
I haven't been able to keep in touch with the folks in the community here as much as I want to
Yeah.
on a regular basis. But when
Well, I still feel like I
when
see
Tommy
you
Toy
down
rolls
here
around-
frequently.
I have been, the last
Yeah.
month or so. Yeah, I come down a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, for somebody that's allegedly working elsewhere, you seem to spend a lot of time down here. I imagine is editing and running the reason I had asked is because we were talking about the logistics end of what some of those volunteers and United Way people are doing. Is that the same thing? Is it like, hey, we have to fit this? Really, you're fitting things onto a paper and making sure that the way it all comes out is correct. Or I could be totally off base.
No, it's similar in the fact that a reporter has to report and write a story, then an editor's got to help out, and then somebody has to put it on a page, and then somebody else has to get a look, and then it's got to go to a printer. So
Right.
it's all part of the process, but you have to have good preparation and training at the start.
Sure.
And I think over the course of time, the people who get involved with Tommy Toy Fun after 5 years or even less, they're pros. I mean, they're pros at knowing what
Yeah.
they're doing. the folks in, we talked about United Way, but the people who do the Dayville distribution site are volunteers. They're business owners. They're pillars of the community.
Sure.
And they run very sharp operations. They have great contacts. They get volunteers, and so it's almost like a turnkey operation for us.
Yeah.
We deliver the toys and let them do their thing because they do a really good job at it. So I guess a good manager is knowing when to not manage, right? When to let people do their own thing. So we really, like I said, I've let people do their strengths. Work to their strengths, and if they need help, I'm around.
Smart way to do it.
Yeah.
That, and you don't stress yourself out as bad that way, as long as you
true.
can, you pick the competent people and say, hey, have at.
That's true. And it gives me time to get that Christmas shopping started.
Are you guys on board? Are you anywhere near done? No.
Start.
The look of
No.
The question is,
I'm
have
going
you
to be
started, Jim? The
creating
answer is
and making
no.
a lot
Yeah.
of things this year. Yeah.
a lot of homemade going
Yeah,
on.
a lot of homemade stuff.
A lot of last minute online going on.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
Yeah, I'm starting to get nervous about it now. I've got one or two big ones out of the way, but other than that, it's problematic.
Now that tomorrow's like the 10th, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
We're
that's
getting
really setting in.
close. We're getting close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 weeks. Christmas Eve is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great to hear.
I've got most of the shipping done, and now I have to buy local. So I'm off next week. I take it off for Tommy Toy.
Yep.
And so when I'm not needed for Tommy Toy, I'll be hopping in and out of stores and
Nice.
I
finding things. So
I do this stupid thing where I take like the last 2 to 3 weeks of the year off every year to do Christmas stuff with the kids, and I always think in my head, oh, we'll have plenty of time to go shopping and do the Christmas, and it's just not the case. It makes me willing to delay until I'm off to really get anything done, and then it turns into a scramble anyway. So I'm dreading it. We will be back in here, potentially back in here doing a live show close to Christmas, and we need the right charity. You guys know a good charity? I'm trying to pick one.
Well,
You both would be welcome to stop by.
Reliance Health isn't a good charity, but no, there's plenty. There's a lot. Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Neither could I, and because originally we'd been, oh man, we could maybe raise the money for Tommy Toy, but it's
Yeah.
they'll be distributing by the time that happens. So we were looking for something maybe a little bit more timely. I didn't know if you guys had something.
I'm sure
I
if
would
we
just
put our
say my
heads,
agent, our agency.
yeah.
We can discuss it after
Yeah,
the fact,
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
or not, or we'll forget about it and I'll discuss it with somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you doing a type of telethon
brainstorm.
type of thing, or what
Ah,
are you
we're
doing?
trying to figure it out
What's the
still.
logistics? Do you know your logistics?
Ish. I mean, basically, I'm gonna sit here and somebody's gonna work the cameras, and we're gonna have on guest after guest, drinking hot cocoa and talking about like local stuff and updating people with. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Are you gonna wear tux like Jerry Lewis?
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a tux.
Yeah, I think
I
you
like
should
a
go all
tux.
out. Take it very seriously.
Tux and a Santa hat.
Yeah.
I should do like the smoking jacket style Santa Claus. Like
Sure.
a, Michael Scott classy Christmas
Yeah.
look. Yeah, I don't know.
Now you got my wheels turning.
Well, yeah, that's
got
why
me
I figured
thinking.
I'd ask.
Yeah,
You're a
you-
marketing person. Like, what should we be doing?
Yeah. I have some ideas. All right.
And it's the right time. People, tax write-offs, right? Before January 1st. Now's a great time
That's
to give.
true too.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do, and I don't know, people can drop in and out and watch or not watch, and
Yeah.
I get to talk to a whole bunch of
Gonna
people.
be live?
Yeah, that's the idea. We've never done a live one, and so
What
That'd
could
be
go
cool.
wrong? What could go wrong?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
yeah, no, that'll be fantastic. But it's like, hey, we can see comments, or we can,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna take calls really, but
You could do like
a new version of a telethon. It'll be like a live show and then a link that they can just click while they're watching and donate directly.
nice
Oh, very cool.
podathon.
podathon.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
you could play on that though. You could also do a couple different. Unless you want one charity, but you
Or
could
you
do
could
a
say-
couple
I
different.
mean, that's
ones.
an
Yeah,
option,
hour
too.
one is
You
for
know what
this
I
group,
mean?
and hour two is
Yeah.
for that group.
and it could be all local.
But now I need to pick ones, and I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how to
we-
pick.
I
And
can help you with that,
I'd
yeah.
kind of like it to be holiday related.
Yeah.
And I'd feel like if I went Toys for Tots, I'd betraying Tommy Toy Fund.
As long as it helps kids.
People
that's
say
does
that.
help
A lot
kids.
of people say Tommy Toy Fun and Toys for Tots are the same.
They-
They're
well,
different.
they're different.
Are they?
Toys,
Just to
Toys for
educate
Tots
myself.
is the national
Okay.
thing, mostly run by Marines. Like you see
Okay,
drop
yep,
off
yep,
at the
the
mall,
mall.
and it's a great organization. But it kind of goes to a central
Right.
location. And again, Tommy Toy, you give here,
Right, local.
kids get here. Yeah.
I just
so-
wanted to make sure because people have been saying that I've been correcting. I was like, I want to make sure I'm right. I'm doing the right thing. So
Cool.
yeah.
So what is left for dates for people to know, and what do they have to do if they haven't signed up, if they're the person that needs to still?
Okay. Well, if you haven't signed up through your social service agency yet, there is still the tiniest bit of time through Friday.
Okay.
Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
We're going to try to get this up tonight. So
Cool.
So, but after that, what we do is on Wednesday, all the sites are open down at the food center here at Reliance Health in Killingly Commons in Dayville. They're open. The sites are open 9 to 7 on Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
If there's a snow day, well, like there was last year, we close Thursday and open Friday. Afternoon on Thursday, when you come Wednesday and Wednesday and Thursday, if you signed up, bring your ID. You might have gotten a slip of paper, like a receipt. Just show up and you'll get processed. Afternoon on Thursday, if you haven't signed up, you can come and sign up on the spot.
okay.
All right. And so we ask minimal questions. We figure if somebody's coming to, need help, we're going to give them help.
Yeah.
And but Thursday from noon to 7, if you haven't signed up yet, come on over and
Awesome.
we'll try to help you out.
And we are also taking applications through a coworker named Karen at 40 Broadway.
Okay.
So that's through tomorrow.
So if they drop in tomorrow and bang on the door on 40 Broadway and
Yeah.
say, Karen, help me out.
Yeah, she might not be there, and she might be like, "What the heck?"
Somebody
Heather
get me
Renee.
Karen.
But Karen, Heather, Renee, or there's they can do it on. I think there's like a app on the phone, maybe, or not app, but a link to be able to do
There
it to
is.
get the paper.
There is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
It's-
but just as a local resource, if they need to drop off to sign up.
And it's been in the bulletin as well.
Yep.
So, and it's the Tommy Toy Fund, right?
Tommy
But I
Toy.
want to make sure that people know that you get a toy, big toy, maybe a small toy, an educational book,
Yeah.
and gloves or mittens. So
Perfect.
we try to,
Yeah.
it's a long the Tommy Toy and book and gloves fine.
Book
But
and gloves and
but
hat.
we want to make sure that people understand that, educational toys, hopefully,
Right.
educational books, and obviously something to keep warm with in the winters.
Yeah. More than just play, which would be good enough on its own.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank
and this was
you.
fun,
That
and
was
we'll do it
wonderful. A lot
next.
of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I'm glad. Yeah, we'll do
great.
it again next year if you want.
Why are we gonna wait till
but
next
ahead of
year?
time, we had
Yeah,
to
like
cancel.
next week.
Well,
Yeah.
you're welcome to come on anytime you'd like.
Yeah.
I'd be totally happy with that. And
Now that this is out of the way, we could just yeah.
That's right. We can talk
Good stuff.
movies, or we can
Anything.
talk
yeah,
Yeah,
craft beers.
could do that.
sure.
Maybe
do
we
like
could
some
talk.
craft
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Events
actually, we're
going
going to have
in the
Rebecca on
community.
at some point from these guys, so we probably will talk craft
There
beers.
you go.
Nice.
Yeah, lightly. I'll dance around it. I have to pretend as if I'd never had a beer because I'm an officer.
Correct.
And this is
Mental health,
loosely
substance
police
use.
affiliated, so I have to pretend as if I've never had
And
a
no
beer.
sampling because you're on the clock.
Well, it's just
That,
educational.
well, actually, I'm not on the clock. I'm off the clock, but no sampling anyway. You know, I got to be careful about that.
Sure.
That's
It's
what-
educational.
You can still have a burger.
It is.
Yeah, it is educational.
It's a tasting and it's classy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So we will have her on. But yeah, you guys are welcome on anytime.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Wonderful space. This is fun.
It's a cool spot.
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right. It's been Community Off the Cuff.